traditional TransAmerica Trail and the route starts in Astoria and ends up in Yorktown, Virginia. So you start in Oregon, you go into Idaho, into Montana, Wyoming, Colorado. But when we were in Wyoming, we met some other cyclists that were going east to west. And we met them at a diner. We were fueling up, they were fueling up. And they asked, hey, what should we expect? And then we asked, well, what should we expect? And they gave us some tips. But when I was doing the planning for the trip, I had read stories and saw video on YouTube about the wild dogs in Kentucky. And I was like, these wild dogs, is it urban myth or? And so I asked one of the guys, I was like, hey, tell me about the dogs in Kentucky. He's like, well, that's an interesting question. And then you get sucked in. He goes, I got chased like 6 or 7 times a day. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. And he told these horrible stories of him getting trapped by like a couple different dogs. And the way the route is, you're spending about 4 or 5 days in Kentucky. And I was like, that does not sound fun at all. So we went back to our RV camp and we totally rerouted the trip to avoid Kentucky. And we took something called the Eastern Expressway, which what a great change we made because we got to experience the wonderful Katy Trail through Missouri, a rails to trails, and then the Gap Trail that goes from Pittsburgh into Maryland, and then the C&O that goes from Maryland into Washington, D.C. And it just so happens my wife and I met in Washington, D.C. We had our first daughter there, so it was a fitting ending. And so I finished up at the Lincoln Memorial. So when we think about trying to bring the country together, I thought, well, that's a really good memorial to end the trip at.